3 host nations, 48 teams, 1 golden trophy. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is almost here. Hi, I'm Deepan Raj Ganesan and welcome to the Straits Times World Cup Team Talk.
And I'm Ziaul Raushan from Money FM 89.3. Deepan, look around the room. The fans have assembled. The flags are out. As I mentioned, we've got a whole fan zone with plenty of fans. But first, we'd like to thank Adidas for kitting us out quite nicely, for kitting the studio out with the latest jerseys, boots, and even the ball.
Yes, and before we get to the fans who are always the most important people when it comes to football, we have got the one and only Neil Humphreys. He's covered the World Cup in Brazil before. Neil, are you excited for the World Cup? It's just around the corner.
So I'm the least important person in this room. If they're the most important, I'm the least important, right? Am I excited for this World Cup? Yes, I think it'll be terrific. I'm not entirely convinced by the increase in games. What is it, 104 or something like that? This World Cup to me feels a bit too big, a bit too bloated. It's like having too many mistresses. It's a good idea in the beginning, but after a while you're exhausted, you're tired, and you just can't get the performance going anymore. So good idea in paper. I hope the consistency is there throughout. I hope the quality supersedes the quantity. I hope President Trump stays quiet. He won't, but I hope he does. And yeah, it could be a good World Cup, yeah.
Count on Neil to address the elephants in the room right away. Neil, you're absolutely right. But bigger should be better, no? I'm talking about football.
Well, I'm 6'4", so I'm going to say yes. I'm not sure. I thought the World Cup was fine as it was before. And look, don't get me on all this FIFA nonsense about inclusivity and diversity. That's rubbish. This is about money. It's only about money. The qualifying stages, that's what your diversity part, that's your inclusivity part. These are the finals for a reason. They're called the finals. I want to see the elite, the underdogs around the place. I think it's too many teams. We'll wait and see. And the climate will come into it as well. It's going to be a really sapping hot summer in North America. I hope you're right, Raushan. I hope you're right. I don't know.
So, Raushan, I had arranged this show to get fans excited for the show. Brilliant way
to a great start, I guess.
Off to a great start.
It'll be great. Yes.
But I
great.
love the honesty. Let's head over to the hosts. In terms, not us, but of course, Mexico, the United States, and the Canada are hosting this World Cup together. And we're lucky enough to have a fan from Mexico here with us today. Mauricio, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I cannot wait. I'm a bit sad because I'll be watching the games from Singapore. But back home, everybody's excited. Everybody's ready. Mexico and South America, we're proud of the heritage from football. Like, we follow everybody from Brazil, Argentina, of course, Mexico, my team. We're excited, and it's very cool to see Mexico for the third time being a host.
Yep.
The first time, I believe they did it in 1970, and then 1986. And then my friend over here, he also supports Mexico. Thank you so much, sir.
That's all right.
Mexico,
Best World Cup ever.
I can tell you.
86. Best World Cup ever.
And we won.
Yes. I was 2 years old.
Well done.
I was 2 years old back then.
But you should be quite excited that the world is going to see more of Mexico. Because like my
Yes.
friend here, the only thing he knows about Mexico is tacos. So at least an opportunity for him
Yes.
to learn
Hey,
more.
I know Eddie Guerrero.
Okay, Eddie Guerrero. But so now Mexico will be playing in 3 different cities. One of the main cities, which is Mexico City, and then they go all the way to Guadalajara, and then cross to the U.S., which is Monterrey. People will get to see different parts of Mexico, different vibes, different food, different, the heat of how we love football.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
And Mauricio, just before we move on, I know you've brought a mask as well. Can you just show the cameras the mask?
Of course. It's quite fun, right?
This mask wearing is quite a tradition in Mexico. We see that a lot in football, in the fans and all. Could you just shortly explain to us what it means and why there's so much of pride in that?
Well, the 2 biggest sports in Mexico is football, and it's not soccer, it's football, and lucha libre. And, these 2 sports bring people together, whatever religion you are, whatever social-economic status you have, it doesn't matter, because once you are a fan, you're a fan, and it goes well together. It's part of the pop culture.
Let's go to the reigning cup holders, Argentina, representing the reigning champions, Lucas Bilbao. Lucas, good to have you here with us. You must be excited to defend that trophy. Could you possibly become one of two teams, Italy and Brazil, have defended the trophy before. Can you do that?
It's gonna be hard. As Argentinian, I think we don't like to talk much about how Argentina is gonna do it in the World Cup because we think that we're gonna bring bad luck. So I think, of course, we are the champions. We have a great team, but it's gonna be hard. They are super good teams now, as usual. It's a World Cup. If we can make it in the group phase, then we're gonna start facing the heavyweights, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
Messi is 4 years older, though, when we saw him in his peak of his powers in 2022. Can you rely on Messi in this World Cup?
Yeah, we always rely on Messi. It's like if you ask me if we can rely on Diego Maradona, it's the same. We can rely on. It's not Diego Maradona. They are different, but Messi is the GOAT. We love him, and he is the magic, the magician that can make that through in that difficult situations. Still the best.
When we think about Argentina, what comes to mind very quickly is also France, because we saw that fascinating final that I think everybody enjoyed. If you are neutral. If you're neutral, not the French fan, of course. And we have got Stefan here to represent France. Stefan, are you excited for this World Cup? Because I think everybody is saying that the favourites this time around are France.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, amazing final 4 years ago. I think even as a French person, I think it was one of the most incredible game of all time. It was very, very difficult to see France not doing anything for 83, 84, 85 minutes, and then they switch it on, and the show was incredible. So even though we lost, it was incredible. And I think France is on a mission. You know, I think the mindset is like we were so close, right? You think about Mbappe scoring a hat trick in the final, and then obviously there was a lot of banter that happened in between the two countries. In 2018, one of the best games ever for France was against Argentina, and then 4 years ago again Argentina. So it's like there is this rivalry with Argentines that is like super special. So we're really happy to.
Why else do you think we kept you apart? I mean,
Yeah.
We're keeping it for the final, I
it's
guess.
all love.
How do you think I have a mask? I want to see that.
It's all love. It's all love. But I think they're on a mission. I think obviously the French team is stacked. Maybe we're the favorite. I don't know. I think for me, my World Cup journey started. I have memories of '86 with my grandfathers, like jumping. When we eliminated Brazil, in '90, when the Germans won against Argentina, but my first World Cup was '94 when I really fell in love with the Brazilian team, Romário, Bebeto, all the stars. Batistuta at the time was playing, but my first World Cup, right? Like France was not playing, we didn't qualify, and then in '98 we won. And then in 2002, we didn't score a goal in the group stage. And then in 2006, Zidane, did what he did. And then in 2010, we stayed in the bus, And then and we always had great players, right? At some point, we had the best strikers in Spain, in Italy, in France, and in England in the same team. And we had Thierry Henry and Trezeguet and Zidane, and then we had Anelka, and so the team is stacked. But as I said, what we always say in France, it's all about the mayonnaise, and the mayonnaise is a chemistry in the locker room and playing as a team, and it's not a list of individualities. It's playing together. So you look at Barcola, you look at Doué, you look at Mbappe, you look at the current Ballon d'Or Dembélé. This is Olise. It's an incredible team. Can they play together? Egos is a big thing in football. On paper, we're a great team, and I can't wait to see them play.
No, I love that turn of phrase, mayonnaise, right? I've never heard it before. Thank you for explaining that. It
mayonnaise,
means chemistry. Some of our viewers might be hungry when watching it, but thanks for explaining.
Mayonnaise, in France, everything is an analogy back to food, right?
Okay.
And mayonnaise is mixing perfectly the room temperature eggs with oil and mustard and vinegar. And if you do it wrong, the mayonnaise doesn't stick.
On the next episode of the Asian Food Channel. No, I'm kidding. Speaking of tasty, the Brazilians will be hoping to cook something tasty come the World Cup. But Brazil haven't had it easy. I think it's been 24 years since Brazil were last champions. I grew up watching Brazil dominate Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, the original Ronaldo. Is the time now then?
It could be. One thing that I heard is it's not likely that Brazil may win, but it's not impossible, right? And one thing that I've heard in Brazil is that the last two times Brazil won, 94 and 2002, was a similar cycle, like difficulty to qualify, the team with not so much confidence, and the feeling among us Brazilians is that it's a little bit different. Most of the time we have that, oh, we're going to win, and now it's a little bit more relaxed. So I feel among my fellow Brazilians that we are not with that pressure of not winning, but let's enjoy. Let's see what they can do because the team is good. So there is some degree of confidence and hope that the team can do well in this World Cup.
Matthias, Senna, thank you for sharing your thoughts on your Brazil team. You talk about silent confidence, right? Has that got to do with Carlo Ancelotti? Because all he needs to do is raise an eyebrow and suddenly we go up a few gears.
Yes, I think especially for the main players, there is also I think we should watch the three strikers that are the youth coming: Ryan, Luis Henrique, and Endrick. Whenever they had to perform from Brazil, they performed really well with the national squad, which is something that Rafinha Vinicius Jr. did not. So they're going to put a lot of pressure on the main players of the team. So that can have a positive effect. And it's something that people in Brazil are relying that if the main players are not relying, we have some strength, and this youth can give that flair that everybody likes to see in the Brazilian team. So it looks like we have that. And it's something that can give us some hope.
We talk about flair. I think another team that will have flair this World Cup is Spain and Lamine Yamal. Sabi, coming on to you, defending champions of Europe, does that translate into becoming champions of the world?
Definitely, we still have some of the youth. We have experienced players, a lot of talent within the Spanish players. We are also considered one of the favorites. Everyone is talking about Lamine, as you've mentioned. Brilliant kid, unfortunately at the moment still injured. Hopes are there that he should be playing against Uruguay. That's our knockout third game that we're going to play in Guadalajara. That's going to be actually one of the games that we are kind of excited, expecting Lamine to come back and shine in this World Cup. Definitely a key player.
From one European country to another, this team, whenever they get mentioned, that song comes around.
It's coming home.
As I
It's
said,
coming home.
annoying for some.
Football's coming home.
Annoying, as I said, but you know,
It's really not. really
Get the mic away from the cynic.
Neil says it's not. I've got to ask you, are you confident for us that England can do it this time?
More confident, and we're getting closer. Semis, finals of the Euros. I was there a couple of years ago. I still think England needs to release the brakes. And then they have a chance in the key moments. I was there again in the final against Spain, and we scored the goal, and that was a chance to push. But we kept something back. The mentality had been drilled in to play safe. So I think if we can progress in that, if Tuchel can help us with that, it's not easy because we don't necessarily have the quality at the back or to connect the back up or to play progressively. But I think then we have a chance. So we're going to see how we play, how we come out of the blocks.
Yeah, especially with some shocking team news coming from Tuchel's squad news, which we'll dive deep into. But alongside the fans as well, we have other people very, very familiar to the Singapore football fraternity joining us as well. First up, representing African football, we have Karim Bencharifa. Karim is the former head coach of the Singapore women's national team. And Karim, everybody loves a classic underdog story. Your team did that for us in the last World Cup. Similar story, you think, this time?
It's going to be different. The pressure will be higher, the expectations higher, a lot of talent. And again, we come back to the mayonnaise because that's what.
So Moroccans love mayonnaise as well. Is that what you're telling me?
Definitely. It's about the egos. It's about because you have to understand, Morocco team is always made by players coming from. Everybody is Moroccan, but if you talk about Mazraoui, he grew up in Holland. If you talk about players who grow up in Hakimi, grew up in Spain, and then plus the talents, Unahi grew up in Morocco and then went to Europe. So the key is always how the coach will manage this different of because even all of them are Morocco, but sometimes the language barrier is different. You know, some players speak Dutch between themselves, some players speak French, Spanish. So it's all about how we can mold these individuals, different mentalities into a good national team. It's happening. Morocco is. If you see the fans as well, when we talk about the fans, if you watch them in Qatar or even in Russia in the previous World Cup, the Moroccan fans create the event as well. So there is things happening on the field with the Moroccan national team. But for Morocco, football is more than sports, is more than even religion. It's something very, very strong that brings the people together. And I think as a country, we use that to move forward. So those players are not only footballers, but they're ambassadors. And we owe a lot to football because that's how people know Morocco now. When I came to Singapore recently on 23, every Grab I take or taxi, when he asks where you're from, Morocco, immediately we talk about the World Cup and especially the last performance that we did in Qatar.
And that is the power of football where it unites people. And Singapore may not be at the World Cup, but but when it comes to Singapore, a lot of people tend to support Japan when it comes to the World Cup because it's a country that they have some form of affinity with. They like the kind of football that Japan play. And we have BG Tampines Rovers defender Shuya Yamashita to represent Japan here today. Shuya, a lot of people are saying that this is going to be quite a historic World Cup for Japan. I think because they beat maybe England in the friendly quite recently, beat Brazil as well in the friendly quite recently. Are you confident that this is going to be a good World Cup?
Yeah, I really confident this World Cup because like you say, they beat England, Brazil, and then most of the player play Euro. Yeah, so now they have a lot of experience. That's why I really confident to Japan. Yeah.
And Deepan, like you mentioned, football stands for much more, right? Teams like Japan doing well, everything they do off the pitch. I know people keep talking about cleaning up after themselves and stuff like that, but that's the power of football, and that's why Japan are talked about by so many teams.
For sure.
Last but not least, Leonard T, who's a reigning Singapore Premier League champion with the Lion City Sailors. Leonard, huge honor to have you with us on the show. You hail from Germany, you've played for a host of European clubs, but your country, Germany, have had a rocky road recently. Will they switch it on at the World Cup?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. Me as a German, we had some difficult years after the win in 2014. I think the expectations were too high. Players got older. Maybe they were also a little bit satisfied. Not really hungry anymore, but we went also through a transformation last couple of years. Kept some old experienced players, brought them developed some really good talents. Talk about Musiala, Wirtz, Lennart Kahl, who's just 18, 19. So I think we got a good mixture of talent, experience, and if we can, the tournament is like 4 weeks. So it doesn't matter how you perform over the qualification. If you got the momentum, if you got a good group of people, you talked about the dressing room. I think it's one of the most important things in a group in a tournament, and so I'm excited. I think if we can get confidence and good results in the beginning, that we can come really far.
That's so important. It is an extended tournament played out over 4 weeks. Leonard, thanks for setting the scene. Let's bring Neil back into the conversation to address
Food. So they got mayonnaise, right? England's got scrambled eggs. Just scramble everywhere. Just mad scramble England. That's what
considering the game times.
Yeah, it's a mayonnaise, bind it together. Yeah.
Our viewers are getting very, very hungry. So am I. But Neil, I want to speak to you about the elephant you addressed earlier, right?
Yeah.
There is a whole geopolitical climate going into this. We don't need to shy away from it.
Yeah.
Do you think this World Cup, because of all the tensions going around, people can put that aside for just a bit and let football fever take over?
Couldn't agree more, Raushan. This happens every single World Cup. If you remember Brazil 2014, there was domestic unrest. They was worried about high crime. They was worried about corruption, all kinds of things. What did they do? They just brought in the tanks. They literally brought in tanks and parked them on the Copacabana beach. It was fine. Then you go to 2018. It wasn't long after President Putin had invaded Crimea. There was going to be sanctions. There was going to be boycotts. The World Cup happened. Everything went on as planned. 2022. human rights issues, moving the World Cup to winter, all kinds of talk of boycotts. What happens? Well, they love the logistics. We can walk to our hotel. We can walk to the venue. Never mind the human rights. Look how good the walk is to the hotel. Once the World Cup starts, it tends to go out of the window. There's only two audiences you have to worry about at a World Cup. The TV audience, which will be fine, right? Because we'll watch it no matter what, and the stadium audience. That's my only slight concern. We're all seeing these stories. They've got so many unsold match packages. They've got half-filled hotels near the venues. They're charging exorbitant Trump-like figures for these tickets. I've never seen that before. 2 or 3 weeks before World Cup, I've never seen unsold tickets, unsold hotel rooms. You can fake many things in a World Cup, but you can't fake a half-empty stadium, and you can't fake an atmosphere in a half-empty fan zone. I hope these guys, the Mexicans, they'll bring the atmosphere. I've got no doubts about the Mexicans. I've got no doubts, all those guys. The South Americans will bring it. I know that. We need the North Americans to turn up. It's not their game. So we need the North Americans to turn up. If they do that, it'll be a great spectacle. I look forward to this guy not having any sleep for 4 weeks. That was me.
Absolutely.
You know, sleep deprived, but it's great. It's fantastic. The people you meet. And I'll tell you right now, these guys here, the Argentinians, they're something special. Objectively, I really hope the Argentinians go a long way, because I'm not being disrespectful to anybody else here. I've covered Euros. I've covered World Cups. There's something special about the Argentinian fan base. And I'm not just saying it because I am British, but there's something about the England fans as well. Depending on how much alcohol, it can go either way with the England fans. It can go either way. But there's something about the England fans, the Argentinian fans, the Brazilian fans. They make the World Cup so special.
And of course, talking about a special World Cup, we cannot let you guys get away without mentioning why you think your team will win the World Cup. Neil, sticking with you now, you've talked about the excitement for the World Cup, or the lack of excitement for the World Cup. But objectively, when you look at these teams, the 48 teams, who stands out for you as the World Cup favourite?
Well, I'm with the guys. What's great about this World Cup in many ways, there's no real standout favourite that I think there has been maybe in other tournaments. The three that keep coming up are France. I was getting to France. I was coming to France. France, Spain and England are sort of the three there. I like the French team a lot. I would love to see the French team win. And I like Didier Deschamps. I'm a big fan of Didier Deschamps. It would be a great sort of swan song for him. I don't know if he's going to continue after this. England, I don't know. I'm slightly surprised that Thomas Tuchel, after the Gareth Southgate issues of, as you mentioned, the brakes were on the whole time. He never took the handbrake off once, Gareth Southgate. I'm not sure Tuchel will either. He's leaving behind too many number 10s. All right, Foden, yes, maybe, but Foden and Cole Palmer, that's a strange one for me. So if I have to pick, it's going to be stinkingly hot in this World Cup. And I think that gives Spain an edge. If you think back to 2010, South Africa, very hot World Cup, they outlasted the Dutch. I think if it comes down to climate, if it comes down to young players, if it comes down to Rodri being fit, fully fit, I'll go with Spain. Just.
When we talk about Spain, you know, a lot of people talk about the fact that the football used to be good, the football, the tiki-taka they mentioned. They've moved away from it slightly now, but it's a bit more effective when it comes to their football. Do you think Spain has enough characters in that team to win the World Cup?
Definitely. I mean, Spain, full of young talents. A lot of them have actually been champions in the Euros. A lot of them have experience playing under pressure. A really amazing factor that Neil actually mentioned was the weather, and it's true. Very dry, sunny Scotch in Spain, so a lot of them are used to this kind of weather. And when it comes to the understanding, like the mayonnaise, I think so Spain already has it.
Mayonnaise is the star of the show, eh?
A lot of players in Spain have it. A lot of them are quite, dalioli, that's what we call in Spain. Tastes better, eh? Much better, trust me. Stronger and better.
And Singapore football is rojak. Yes.
All very
But
tasty.
no, again, definitely Spain, young talents, experienced players, really amazing coach that we have. Everything, I mean, it's all chemistry that is already aligned. We just have to stay put, step by step, and win all the games.
For us, if I can bring you in here as the England fan, right? I know Mayonnaise has been mentioned, but with Thomas Tuchel's squad selection, is there enough taste in the mayonnaise? Is that enough to gel together?
Maguire's not in, Foden's not in.
Maguire himself has posted that he's not going to.
And his mother posted that it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Mayonnaise or Harry Maguire? No, I'm kidding. Go on.
For me, it's a wait and see. Look, I'm an Arsenal fan, and people like Saka. We've got Rice. I was super impressed with Nico O'Reilly from City. Maybe Miles. We have to see the full squad to see how consequent those decisions are. But I think the noises coming out is Tuchel wants to play a system, and he wants players to fit into that system. And I think, again, sorry to belabor the sauce, but the mayonnaise thing, I think this World Cup's all about the team. I think that's the new era.
But he's got mayonnaise, we've got rice.
Yes. And we need some alioli in our rice, and we're sorted. We're missing that, actually, yeah. We've got rice. Yeah, we've got a fairly good spine halfway up going forward. Foden, for me, great player, but he was a systems guy at City. Cole Palmer's been hit and miss. He's been playing a saviour role at Chelsea, and he's not always delivered. And that's a sign of a true talent, right? So I can understand those decisions. Maguire, I think it's more of he's not the fastest. He's a talismanic player. We've also got Jordan Henderson, who can for the dressing room.
Jordan, Harry, I know who I'm choosing.
If you need the experience, right? If you need the talismanic figure. So again, I think he wants a pacey back four, and I can understand. So I'm waiting. I'm not really upset.
If we could ask Leonard, I think a lot of people are talking about your Englands, your Spain, and your France, and rightly so. But I'm of the belief that Germany has enough talent to go a bit further in this World Cup than they have been in the last few ones. Let's talk about Jamal Musiala, for example. I mean, a lot of people will say that a lot of footballers have played a lot of games this season. Musiala is just returning from injury. He's got the game time now with Bayern. Do you think he can be a talismanic figure for Germany?
Yeah, for sure. His talent, no doubt. Happy he's fit on time for the World Cup. He had some games before, 2 or 3 months. There were a lot of discussion if he's fit, if he should join for the World Cup. But I think if you got talent like this, he can decide a match with one action. There's no doubt you leaving at home. So I'm happy he's joining. But him together with our other offensive players, I'm not worried about creating chances or scoring goals. It's more about defense in our team. I think we concede in the last games or years also too many chances, even if it's counterattacks or out of play. So
you talk about defense, right? Is that then important that Julian Nagelsmann has convinced Manuel Neuer to return to this German national team? Is that going to be very important?
I think, if he has an aura, if he's standing in front of you, I think you don't see a goal anymore. He has something special, the experience, what he's won for the team, probably also in the dressing room. And when I compare them both, I would also choose Neuer if he wants to come back. So, I'm happy with that, or Germany is happy with that. So
if not for maybe going all the way to win the World Cup, what would be a happy outcome for you? Is it a semi-final, a quarter-final?
Expectations are high, and Germans are always very critical. So I think they need to reach the semi-finals.
Semi-finals, wow. And
to make up for the last 2 World Cups.
Fair enough. Lucas, we talked about Argentina at the start of the show. I want to come back to you now. I mean, we talk about Messi and we talk about whether Argentina can retain that title. Tell me about the rest of the squad. Is there enough there to support Messi in this second chance, in sense of winning the title again? Are there enough pieces there?
I think we have a great squad. I think it's like the last World Cup. All of the guys is doing this for Messi, and they're gonna live the lives there to back up Messi. Doesn't matter if we're gonna make it through the final or wherever. Which stage is good for us? None of them. It's like Bilardo said, we cannot take the flight back to Argentina if we lose. So, but because that's where our mentality is. But
we've talked about the favorites, but one thing that we love at a World Cup is your dark horses. Genuinely, Karim, coming to you now, besides Morocco, who of course were the ones that made that fairy tale run in the last World Cup, do you see any other teams doing well the African Cup of Nations champions, Senegal.
Which
maybe.
one?
The champions are Morocco.
I had to get in. I had to get it in there.
Good.
But yes.
But no, the Senegal is a fantastic team. I mean, in the final, they show. I mean, we can. Things are within the law of football. They will decide. It's. CAF have given the title to Morocco, but it's still the final decision in Switzerland. But Senegal definitely is a good team with Mané, with fantastic, very balanced, very strong physically team. When Neil talk about the heat and the weather, Africa will be okay with that. But Egypt, I don't think so, because Egypt in the African continent, they are very strong, but never impressed in at the World Cup level. But I still think Morocco, with all the hypes, with all the... Remember, we're going to organize the World Cup under 2030. We have Brazil, which we already beaten them in a friendly not long ago.
Brazil's taking all the beating.
So I think it's going to be exciting. But I think, as Neil said, I want to mention, though we have the best teams in this World Cup, because the top 10 are there, all the teams are among the top 50. But still, I think the tournament will really start after the first or second round. You know, the start of the World Cup will be. I agree with him. I don't think we can watch all the games like how we used to do. We don't miss any game. But I think we will see the World Cup growing, and even the teams growing after the first or second round.
If you're watching along, tell us who you think will be the dark horses at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I want to go to Maurizio and his mask at the moment, because we talk about dark horses, right? I always go back to South Korea when they hosted the World Cup. They had a fairy tale run. I know you talked about Mexico bringing the party, having lots of fun. But is there a silent hope there that the football team rides the euphoria and does well in the tournament as well?
The team itself brings a lot of joy to the country as it is. You know, I think that's the main thing for as a fan, to see how our communities are enjoying a tournament. It's quite tough because we only have a few people with experience, like Memo Ochoa, who he's a veteran already, and then we have this other guy, Raúl Jiménez.
Raúl Jiménez, yeah.
He's another veteran. So basically, these two guys will be leading the new guys, and hopefully we can become that dark horse, and not be a mayonnaise, but maybe be the hot sauce. You know,
Hot sauce,
maybe we can be the hot sauce. It can be the jalapeno for the whole thing. You know. So the first game for us is we're going versus South Africa.
Yep.
Which I might be there. We're gonna watch Chimes,
Okay.
3 a.m. in the morning. Ooh. So
I thought you were going to be at the stadium. You're
No,
going to
I
be
wish.
at
I wish.
Deepan will be at the stadium.
I'll video call you.
Okay, please do.
You have it
Not
on tape
don't.
now. You have to
Not
video on
don't.
tape.
Because I will hate you.
Pressure is on. We talk about Mexico's hot sauce. I'm hoping for a little bit of wasabi from Japan's football. When we look at this Japanese team, you mentioned it earlier, Shuya, that a lot of them now play in Europe. And they don't just play in Europe. They're key players for their teams in Europe. And about that, I just want to ask, without Mitoma at this World Cup, is there enough talent there for Japan to maybe make history and go to, let's say, a quarter-final? Is that something that you think is possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible because now, of course, we miss Mitoma, but we have a lot of good players now. And then, especially Kubo, everyone know he's a great, very good player.
And how important is it that these guys are in Europe? I mean, people always say, oh, now Japan has more players in Europe. That is good, that is good. What do they mean by that? Why is it good that they are playing in Europe?
Because usually they used to this intensity, and then now, a lot of players, when they come back Japan, always, they talking about like high level. And then I think last time is most of the player play in Japan. So if compared to that time, I think they have a lot of confidence. That's why I really confidence
We talk about the surprise packages that can get people talking, the upsets, the hot takes,
Yes.
the giants crashing out.
And this is what I'm looking forward to.
That's what gets people talking as well. And for that, we need to bring Neil in. Neil, which giant crashes out in the group stages for you?
England. He's going. He's going. Which giant crashes out?
No, maybe not the group stage, but just doesn't have a...
We'll have a shocking tournament,
Yeah.
basically.
I don't want to start an argument, but he knows already. He knows already. He knows already.
There's a risk it might be their worst tournament.
Yes. Because
We
he's
should
trying.
have never have put these two together, I tell you.
Our German friend is trying to be optimistic, but you can kind of see that it's quite difficult. There's a lot of if, buts, and maybes. So, of all of the traditional titans, I do look towards Germany and think they're just not at the level of France and Spain and perhaps even England and one or two others. So, if I had to pick one, sorry, I think, because he's sitting next to me and he's far too good looking, by the way. I'm glad he's over there. But I think Germany. If it's going to be anybody, I hope not, because the tournament is always better with Germany in it. But if I had to pick one, I would go with Germany.
Is anyone else in the room? Open mic with your hottest take for the World Cup?
Nothing personal, but I think
It's always bad when they start a sentence like that.
I think the Messi is a little bit too old now. I mean, it's a fact. I think there's not enough talent around him, and then you said it right. Everyone plays for Messi, and I feel like this is the game plan. I think this is like, let's play for him, let's play for our God, but I don't think it's enough to win at that level.
We talk about Messi possibly being too old. Any takers? Is Cristiano Ronaldo too old to perform at the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Well, maybe as a Portuguese speaker and married with a Portuguese, I can take this one. I think Portugal has the Cristiano Ronaldo is playing quite well, right? We can see, although the Saudi League, people have some concerns. But I think for Portugal, you have to look the rest of the team. They have a very strong squad in the midfield. If you think about the quality of the Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, all these guys, that they can make a very big difference. And then if you have a Cristiano Ronaldo, just that you score, I think they can be an underdog or a surprise that they can go very far.
But just in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo, I completely agree with you. Portugal have a very good team, right? But could he be a cloud that hangs over this Portuguese team? I'm a Manchester United fan, and I've seen how heavy that cloud can be.
Well, let's see, because in the last World Cup, he was that cloud. But if you watch the last Nations League, he wasn't. So they performed well. So I think it's going to be a question mark. Let's see. I think for the sake of football, everybody hopes that he's going to play well, right?
Before we move on to individual players, I just want to talk about a different aspect of the World Cup, which is some of these debutants, some of these smaller teams, as you speak, in terms of coming to this World Cup. Are there any teams that you guys are looking forward to watching at this World Cup? Like for me, for example, I'm looking forward to watching Curacao because a lot of people talk about their growth, their rise to where they are at the moment. I know a lot of them are based in Holland and they are playing in the Eredivisie, they will play for Curacao. But I'm looking forward to what the fans bring to the stands, what the team brings to the field. What about you?
I wouldn't call them a new team or a small team, but I'm really excited for Scotland to be back. They have such a long tradition of football. The fans are super passionate. So it's just good to see Scotland back. So I'm looking forward to seeing them and their fans.
We move on to individual players now and maybe even tacticians. Faraz, I want to come to you first and foremost. A lot of talk about Thomas Tuchel going into this World Cup. As a Manchester United fan, he was linked to our club before he signed the new contract with England. Are you confident that he might be someone that propels England to the next step?
I think we're all waiting to see, actually. There's a big question mark. He's been operating quite mysteriously. He's been trying lots of players. So we're yet to see his strategy. So it's really difficult to say. I mean, the most we've learned is what we learned today, which Maguire out, Palmer out, Foden out of the squad. So waiting to see. But yeah, there's a lot of mystery there and a lot of waiting. So sorry, but I really can't answer. I think, let's hope, if again, coming back to what Neil was saying, like if we can let the handbrake go, that would be interesting. One of the things I think he wants England to play fast and progress the ball quickly. So I think that's exciting.
Talk about Harry Kane being different in this tournament. He arrives as a winner because since the last World Cup, he's now gone out and won trophies with Bayern Munich. Happens when you leave Tottenham. But anyway,
Very true.
is that going to then propel England that extra step?
One of the things that Harry Kane now has is the wonderful German mentality. You see, I'm
He's making friends now.
I'm trying to win it back. But in all seriousness, you both make good points. They do need that. England doesn't have that. This psychological hurdle, it is the biggest of monkeys because of... Yes, there is a little bit of ingrained arrogance. You know, it's our game, football's coming home. Even the lyrics, although not intentional, do come across as arrogant. Football's coming home. It's an arrogant thing to sing, actually, even though that wasn't the intention. So it's a psychological thing. They have the players, and I genuinely hope that Tuchel does bring a little bit of that German mentality, that Teutonic mindset. They need that more than ever. Frankly, they didn't really have it under Gareth Southgate. So yes, you're absolutely right. Harry Kane is a different player now, physically, mentally, psychologically. If he can pass a little bit of that into the England squad, they need to be more German.
Yeah.
They need to be more German, then they have a chance.
That's something else to clip as well. England need to be more German.
Yes, they do.
Depends how far you go back, because it's quite German.
Yeah.
But to England, they could have 3 league winners, right? Marcus Rashford won La Liga down the left, Harry Kane won Bundesliga down the middle, and Bukayo Saka won the English Premier League as well down the right. Oh, I'm excited. It's coming home. Sorry, Karim, go on.
I just want to add regarding England. I think the question is, for example, now when we see the surprises that he's dropping some players, we don't know what's happening because the coach maybe doesn't like their attitude or there was some issues. And that's the question about Tuchel, is because he is quite rigid in the way he wants things, in the way his team want to play. And I'm waiting to see how the players will respond to that, because it could be either way. It's good that players follow the philosophy of a coach, especially that he have some ideas, but again, it could sometimes backfire how they're gonna play under strict and rigid style.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a great track record in unifying a locker
Dressing
room,
rooms, yeah,
right?
yes.
You've seen it in PSG, you've seen it in Chelsea, it's, in Bayern München. I think there's a little bit of there's a little bit of like, I want to be Mourinho, but I don't quite have the shoulder to be like Mourinho.
You need to give him the number of the mayonnaise salesman. That's all
yeah,
he needs
I
for
mean,
the team chemistry.
By the way,
right?
I just want to say, like, I'm not sponsored yet by any mayonnaise brand, but
It's interesting, Steph, because a lot of the players, a fair bunch of the players are going to be coming from Arsenal and City, which are systems teams now, with strong managers who, trust the process, trust the manager. So he's going to inherit, I think, quite compliant players and minds. So we'll see if he can make the most of it. I don't think the dressing room is going to be that much of a challenge.
We've talked about Messi and Argentina. We've talked about the players that England and France have. One surprise name that's gone into this Brazil team is Neymar, because a lot of people didn't expect that. Although I've seen a lot of clips, Brazilian fans are very, very happy that he's part of the squad. How do you feel?
And also Argentinians are. I think I told him we are more. We are happier than Brazilians that Neymar is in the squad.
Why is that the case?
We love Neymar. We love Neymar in Argentina. It's like Ronaldinho. We love him.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, Mateus, tell me about Neymar. Why does he mean so much for the Brazilian fans? And are you happy that he's in the squad?
Yes, I am. I think the climate among people in Brazil, they really hoped. If you see a lot of clips, people are really happy. I think a lot of people in the media may not. They have a beef with Neymar, so that came along. But I think overall, the people are happy with them. I think one thing that Neymar brings, and I mentioned the media, is that he relieves a lot of the pressure of the other players on media. People we hear talking about Neymar. We're not talking about Vini Jr. We're not talking about Rafinha. We talk about Neymar, right? So that pressure that goes to him, he knows how to handle that. That gives a lot of relief to the rest of the team. And also, you have to remember, although that he's injured, he's in the middle of the Brazilian season. And we saw last year in the Club World Cup, where the Brazilian teams performed quite well during the summer because they were in the middle of the season. So that could be something that can play well. He come in the second the second half with the teams tired, he can make a difference at that point. And I think that's the overall mentality in Brazil. People are expecting not him starting, but coming from the bench, and it looks like he's up to that.
I understand the excitement of the fans, right? Someone like Neymar coming. But is that noise needed for Brazil if they want to win this tournament? Because with Neymar come the cameras, come the headlines.
I think it would come anyway. Brazil, whenever it comes to the World Cup, everybody pay attention. I saw here everybody mentioned that they got confidence because they beat Brazil. So, although
Oh, he's flipped it. Well done.
yeah, but I think in a way it also shows Brazil like, hey, we're not 24 years. We may not be relevant, but I can see by when people mention like it's still relevant when the other countries face Brazil. It's something that they take seriously. So that pressure comes to Brazil every time, and having Neymar there, I really think it relieves a little bit of the pressure, and the players are happy with him. I think uniting the dressing room, he's a guy that he's the idol of most of the players there. So having him there, it's a positive overall, I think.
One by one, I want you to tell me if your team doesn't win the World Cup, who you think should win the World Cup. So let's start with Leonard. Leonard, if Germany don't win the World Cup, who wins it?
No, if we don't win, I think France will win.
For us?
Tough one between Spain and France, but I'm going to go for Spain.
I'll say Germany. No, I'll say Spain. I'll stick with Spain.
Okay. Karim?
Spain as well.
Objectively,
Hopefully.
yeah, I think Spain is right up there for sure.
Okay.
Sabi's in the clouds already.
Mauricio?
Well, this is a tough one. It's between France and Spain. I would go France. Sorry.
He'll give you a bottle of mayonnaise after this.
I prefer tequila. Tequila and Rioja. We can do it together. Together. Of course, if Spain doesn't win, I would like to actually see Argentina.
Shuya?
I think Spain.
Spain? Wow.
Anybody but Argentina, I'm happy.
That counts as an answer.
For me, I'm going to say it also Spain. But if I had to choose one because I like it, I'm going to go to Japan.
Oh, wow. And I think everybody can agree, right? Big round of applause if Japan wins it, right?
And that is all the time we have for the Straits Times World Cup Team Talk. A massive thank you to all the fans today for bringing the noise. Whether you're watching the matches past midnight from your couch here in Singapore or making the long journey over to the stadiums across North America, history is waiting to be written. Enjoy the World Cup, everyone. Goodbye for now.
All right, thank you. Well done.